Hi folks, I got asked a question today about how to get curved corners in SketchUp. Use a really cool feature called Follow Me, and I'll just demonstrate this very quickly on something I've already prepared. So this is under the push-pull menu. That's the middle one. I'm going to select the face that I want to revolve. Now it's very easy, it happens sometimes very easily that you end up push-pulling it. What you need to do is have a circle and go around that circle to get a nice three-dimensional shape. Even so, there'll be some imperfections in it because there are limitations to the program, so you kind of get these. What I've been getting, perhaps somebody else can do it better than this, I've been getting these kind of extra joins, a bit like I suppose what you get with a tin can. So how did I do this? Okay, something you might find helpful is to go first of all to the scenes, go plan view. Okay, I'm just going to use the shift and roller ball, holding down the roller ball to orientate myself just to the right of this. I'm going to make a circle which is 500 millimeters, or no, sorry, excuse me, diameter 500, so it's going to be a radius of 250. And the reason I'm doing this plan view or plan elevation is it just makes it a lot easier to draw lines to find the center, and SketchUp knows that I want to do that. If I try and draw this when I'm in any other type of orientation, it becomes quite difficult to find that center. So that's all I needed the scenes tool for. What I'm now going to do is just going to draw up a blue line which is going straight up, sort of like along the y-axis, I suppose you could say. I'm going to make that 500 long because I'm working within these measurements throughout this tutorial. And what I'm going to now do is, the reason I'm drawing this up, this becomes like the mast on my boat, and I'm going to use this as a sort of a spine to draw out a box, a rectangular box, and there I have it. Now once again I'm going to go back to the scenes and I'm going to go front view. I'm going to need to pull over a bit because the front view always brings you back usually to the center of the axis, which is of course over there. You can see the sort of center line, the blue line. Okay, so you need to kind of just shimmy over to the, using the pan tool, over to the right, if that's where you're located. Now the reason that it's best to do it this way is that when you draw on this, it's like drawing on a flat page. Yeah. If I don't do this, what will happen very quickly is I'll start to draw off like that. Alright, okay, I'll just escape from the tool and you'll see this when I go back to orbit. Very often the line can come off, so very often the line can kind of, I end up thinking that I'm drawing on the surface, but in actual fact what I'm doing is I'm drawing off into thin air in effect. So that's not even happening anymore because I started the line and most of the line is on there, and I think that SketchUp is quite intuitive. I'm going to get rid of the stuff I don't want. So that was the sort of the outside edge. And I'm also going to get rid of any lines along the base I don't need. Constantly having to hotkey back to orbit because my roller isn't working today for some reason. I'm going to get rid of the base, but I'm going to keep that lovely circumference. Or I can just use this as well. And I'm keeping a sort of a sprue that's coming off of here on a tangent, just as a guide to bring this, when I rotate this back. So I'm going to click this once, and I'm going to click, this is basically the axis, will, like the center of this will act as an axis, and it kind of goes around the circle. Sometimes you have to play with it a little bit, and it says endpoint when I get back to where I begun on that line. And there you have it. And you can rub away that line afterwards. Yep. This is quite it's quite good to, you can kind of cut the holes through this again. I would actually use the plan view to do this. Let's go back to the pan tool. To draw circles on top, it's easier if you do plan view rather than and I should really say again that you have to, it's much easier on plan view to find the center if you want to do a perfect hole through this. Say this is the boss part of some casing. The boss part is obviously the cylindrical sleeve which screws go inside. We call that a boss. Okay, and I'll just go back to orbit and then push pull down into it, for example, down to one of the edges. So that could be one of these things. Alright, I don't know if I've gone all the way through. Let's just do different scenes. So I'm going to go default sets and I can do wireframe so you can see inside of it. Zoom in a bit. Okay, so that's just basic follow me to kind of make a revolve or a sweep. That's been some help. Thanks.